Okay, good afternoon, everyone. It is 2:05 p.m., February the 11th, 2026. So, in today's video, we're just going to get straight into the trade I took. So, today, if we head over to the Trade of 8, I took 2 trades. Let's see, I made on one micro 80 and then lost looks like about $1.50 on another. So 2 trades today. This is a bit concerning here, right? There are very short trades. On one hand, I had an edge, it immediately moved in my favor, but the first loss was probably premature, or I may have traded impulsively here is what I'm thinking. But the good news is, right, if we're going back to what I've discussed earlier, if you're in a state of making it happen impulsive, then that means your sympathetic is dominant. But if you do have an edge, then you should be okay. So let's go over to where I bought. So I bought at 9:38, so very early in the morning here. Okay, we go over to 9:38, and okay, I think I can recall what happened now. So I was looking at the 5-minute structure, the 5 and the 10-minute. Right, so if you zoom out here and look at my screen, you can see, okay, here's the top of the range, okay, and then here's the bottom of the range here. Right, so we had just seen a successful upthrust to the highs, and then it was re-entering, right? So the buy logic was I went over to the TPO, and I said, okay, this is, where the structure has accepted based on time. Logically there should be a bounce there. So when I went over to the footprint, right, that's sort of where I constructed the buy based on a 30-minute footprint from what I saw. So I was able to get that bounce for about $1, which was what I was targeting. Okay, I think we were in a P distribution at the time with the volume profile, so that was another logic to go long there. And I didn't see anything else concerning, right? The entropy, nothing too concerning there. I was buying in an area of thick liquidity because I was buying, the majority of the volume within that footprint, and I was buying the TPO. So I had no, issues with that trade. And yeah, this will probably be a shorter video, but again, that's sort of the trade I took. And then I was a bit much more restrained here because what happened, as you can see, is it really searched for liquidity. You can see that what I believe is, so remember, according to the Wyckoff logic, the more upthrusts that occur within the structure, okay, the more likely a terminal shakeout will occur, because if it has not jumped above the creek, it needs to search for that liquidity, and it's going to do that low and lower. So all through this, I was like, hell no, I'm not buying this shit. Okay, I was like, there's no way I'm making money. I remember at one point I saw it like dump 50 cents in like a second. So I stayed the hell out. Okay, and I didn't really want to go in again because I'd already made money this morning. So there was definitely some opportunities in here, right? You can see on the 1 minute that we have a SC AR, and it's a very nice bullish upward sloping structure on the 1 minute time frame, right? Making higher lows here. So definitely some opportunities to trade in there. But after I made that trade, right? So anyways, I think this is the terminal shakeout. and it's re-entering the range here. Well, actually, not quite yet, right? You're seeing it's holding. It's hit this sort of the low of the structure here. So this may be the potential last point of supply, right, in distribution, right? So you would label this as LPSY, right? And so then it could distribute. But you know, from the daily, but when you zoom out to the daily time frame, you can see that this is a very successful looking Springer test, right? Not high volume, right? I'm using the volume candles, and look how successful it is, right? Look at the low versus the close at the moment, right? So on the daily, it looks like a very successful liquidity grab, and you would expect it to hold. If we go back to the lower time frame, you would expect it to keep making higher lows here. So I guess, you know, a retest of 612 should hold, right? And now, right, if they have successfully grabbed all the liquidity, there's another $8 upside, $8 to $9 upside, definitely, more like 10. Back up to this daily VPOC, right? As long as now, what's gonna turn this bearish, right? The medium-term pivot hits, which I don't think we're near. The VIX spikes, so maybe vol control starts selling, or risk parity starts selling. Are my two assumptions for what would prevent this move to keep going, or hedge funds start selling. So I think I would remain bullish for now. I think I'd rather, you know, if I'm the composite operator, dump my shares up at, you know, 622, up at this daily VPOC, or 620, right? So that's where I look more for a bearish entry. But, you know, really successful day here, or a week actually, right? We can go to this week's results. You know, much better than last week, right? I've reduced the number of trades, right, to 9 this week. So remember, there were some days I was making 12 in a day. So, and you know, it's mixed, right? You have to know, okay, I have an edge in this environment, let me trade a lot, versus I don't have an edge, let me hold back. So again, I mean, these results are very good. So tomorrow I'm expecting I'll do like maybe 2 micros on QQQ and then 3 to 4 on SPY. And yeah, I think that's all for this video, short video here. If we go over to Zero Hedge, they're just talking about the dispersion, right? So a lot of money is moving in like the index is volatile because the hedge funds are rotating, so they're buying different stocks within the sector, and it's leading to very wide dispersions that could be a sign of, you know, the equity market topping over the next 3 to 4 months. But other than that, yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.